camera is rolling. Could do the countdown.
Tell me what
This is who I said first.
Okay, so our project is on trends affect young adults.
So in our background, social media is a form of electronic communication where users create online communities to share different information, personal messages, and share other content, including videos. And trends are a general movement over time of a statistically detectable change.
Our research question is, how are trends affecting young adults? Our thesis is, trends have affected young adults in a variety of positive and negative ways.
So this matters because trends can affect a person's daily life. They'll start picking up on trends and start doing them, and real life issues affect how trends become developed.
Okay, so my claim is how mental health became a cool trend. So a little bit of background. So these are the top falsified mental illnesses. Eating disorders, 22%, a psychological disorder that causes abnormal eating habits, self-harming, which is 17%, the act of purposely harming yourself, addiction, which is 13%, the condition of being addicted to a certain substance, depression, which is 12%, a mood disorder that causes a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest, and then bipolar disorder, which is also 12%, which is a lifelong condition that creates unusual mood swings. So a little, like, two reasons why people usually falsify a mental illness. The first one is that they want to feel important. They see other people speaking about what they have to deal with, and they see that they get recognition from it for being strong, for speaking up about what they're dealing with, and they crave that attention from their friends, their family, and their peers. And the second one is that they want to feel relatable. And I got this from WebMD. When they see recurring cases of mental illnesses in the day-to-day life, whether that's in the media or like streaming platforms such as Netflix's 13 Reasons Why, and then influencers such as Didi Lovato, which is Demi Lovato, and then You Are Complete, which is Bianca L. Rodriguez, two influencers that are very public about what they're dealing with. It might make you think that you need to have a mental illness to become trendy or relatable. And the last thing that you should know is falsifying a mental illness is a mental illness of its own, so you should not do it.
Okay. Peer pressure has negatively affected teens. A survey taken in Cape Town, South Africa in 2008 was conducted on 291 teens between the ages of 16 and 18. The results showed that 9.6% of the teens had used alcohol, 12.8% used cannabis, 11.2% used heroin, and 6.4% used cocaine. Simmons, Morton, and Chen noted that delinquent peers pressured adolescents into using hardcore drugs such as methamphetamines, I can't talk right now, and inhalants. Teens can be peer pressured into sexting, which is sending inappropriate or sexual messages, and sometimes even sending nude photos. And they can also be peer pressured into doing other harmful behaviors, such as one example is juuling, which has become a recent trend in teens lately. And jewels haven't really been tested, so we don't really know the effect on humans. And my last example is the jump challenge, which is also a trend on social media where you take turns jumping and the person in the middle is tripped up. And a person has really got hurt from it and they broke their nose. Awareness of peer pressure is the key to overcome it.
Trends influence fashion positively on social media. So one, it creates inspiration. A man named Richardson stated 45% of Instagram users in Britain follow fashion accounts to gain inspiration. And seeing a trendy fashion style on social media gets you to want to start your own style. It's much easier to become a fashion icon now. According to sellers, it used to be really hard to become a fashion icon. We have shows like Project Runway to get people noticed in the fashion industry. It was harder because if you didn't win, you didn't achieve getting your own clothing line out there, so people didn't really know about you or about your clothing style. So now you can go on platforms like social media and promote things, and anyone all over the world can see it. Another thing is, according to Fashion Network, diversity has expanded. It doesn't matter who you are, your race, or your body size, you are able to become noticed through fashion trends. Due to people promoting clothing for industries, income has risen for a lot of companies. The graph shows the income rise for many fashion industries. In 2018, income was at $481 billion, and now in 2020, it's at $606 billion, and it will continue to rise throughout the years. And fashion industries have grown significantly due to the clothing trends and promotions.
So businesses on social media can either help their company grow or make them go out of business completely. Businesses' survival all depends on the users on social media apps. A business that have grew tremendously is Fashion Nova. As you can see, we have the model Black China / celebrity who gets paid to post Fashion Nova outfits, and basically she makes about $1 million to $20K per post with social media. And other people like Cardi B and also Kylie Jenner. So this data was found by Danny, who is a fashion blogger. Using social media is a trend for many teens around the world. The downside of teens with social media is that kids are more prone to being cyberbullied, loss of social skills, increased depression, and suicidal thoughts forming. On the bright side, teenagers can connect with people who share the same interests, who have the same problems as them, and also share the same friends. This is evidence from Dr. Eulis, who is a pediatrician, and she writes for the Pediatric Journal, which is a credible website / journal page for different doctors to post and share their research. By using the trend of social media, many problems in the world can be shared to the world. Many problems in the world can be shared to the whole world, which it can draw awareness and push for solutions. The con is that people think that liking and sharing a post is helping, but in reality, they are not physically acting upon it. Politics is a topic that has many different views. When politicians use social media, they can share their platform and promote their campaign. The downside is that if a politician posts the wrong things, it can damage their credibility, reputation, and even job. An example is Donald J. Trump, which he posts on Twitter and shares his views and different opinions upon different people and things.
Cultural appropriation is when a dominant group takes something of a minority group and they display it as something cool and fun. So how it impacts teens? Different inspiration from celebrity models because it convinces them to try it out without knowing the value and importance of it, and they see it as daring and bold. And according to Michelle Wang, an author of the NAI, it damages one's identity because it shows mockery, because if natives wear their traditional clothing, they are found as unattractive, but if someone of a different race wears it, they're shown as being extraordinary. And it is also according to everyday feminism, privilege crediting is when people take credit of an idea that they didn't originate. And here are examples of cultural appropriation in the fashion industry, so including different brands of Tommy Hilfiger, a Japanese brand, and Gucci, and then different models wearing different hairstyles, including an afro and dreads.
So our solution, or like the next steps we have, the first one is try to control how much screen time you allow yourself or you allow your children. Find your own creativity, so don't try to follow like others. Don't let others control you, so try not to let everybody influence what you do. Use parent controls on devices. Think before you act and be more aware of what social media is trying to influence you to do.
In conclusion, trends can be hard to avoid. Sometimes you don't even know you're following a trend, and also diversity has expanded due to its use in fashion. Conclusions continued. Not all trends can be bad. People become closer, income flowing. Social media can impact trends, gets them out there. People try dressing like a culture to find a sense of belonging and trying to learn more about the culture.
So,
You know, this.
come on.
I didn't know.
They just broke it down and.
And then our questions for this team.
Okay.
All right. So, questions.
We're not done, Jodi.
Jodi, come back up here.
I got somewhere.
All right. So, first question is Angel's question. Angel, how did the group decide to include Andrea's perspective, lens, or conclusions into the overall?
Andrea's conclusion was that sometimes people don't realize that they're following a trend, and it tied into me and Misk's ideas. Basically, Misk was about fashion and mine was about peer pressure. Sometimes people don't know that they're following somebody else's fashion sense. They may see it and have it in the back of their mind, and they'll see the clothes in the store and be like, oh, this is cool, I want this shirt, or I want these jeans, and they'll look cute together. In mine, I was saying teens probably don't know that they're being peer pressured in the first place, so they most likely wouldn't know that they're being involved in these trends also.
Thank you. My next one is for Rachel. Rachel, could you talk about how the content of this team presentation got changed as a result of y'all's group discussion?
Okay, so when the first time we were presenting, many people thought our topic was how social media affects young adults instead of how just trends affect young adults. And that was mainly because Jodi's and Misk's presentations or their slides focus mainly on social media's effect on that. So basically how we changed that to make it more cohesive with our title is that we changed some of our titles and the wording around for the slides to make sure that it does actually show that we're trying to talk about how trends affect young adults instead of how social media affects young adults.
Next question would be for Misk. Misk, your question is this. What is a way in which your team's resolution or conclusion makes you think differently about your own individual research?
Okay, so like while my claim touched more on like the positive aspect of trends on fashion, most of my teammates looked at the negative impacts of their trends. And while mine talked about trendy fashion, it's not the same as how Andraea talked about cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation can damage one's identity, but when you are wearing an outfit due to a trendy style, it's different because it's not based on a specific culture.
Next is, I'm trying to get the right question. Jodi, I have a question for you. Jodi, what's an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual reports that your team decided to leave out of the presentation, and why?
So basically, we decided to leave out basically the negative and positive effects of different claims. And basically for each one of our slides, they either focus on negative or the positive effect on it, versus mine, which had positive and negative. On Misk, for example, she left out the negative effects of following a fashion trend. And Andraea, which is basically negative, it's really, with cultural appropriation, it's in the word, there's not really a positive or negative effect for it. For Rachel's, we've left out the positive effect of, there really isn't one for her either. And also for Angel, we left out the negative effects, the positive effects of peer pressure. Like basically, if you see somebody throwing out trash, it will get you to throw out trash too, or pick up trash on the side of the road.
And then my last one is for Andraea. Your question is this. Could you talk about the strongest counter-argument to your solution or conclusion that your team identified? And why is it a strong counter-argument?
So the strongest counter-argument to the conclusions and solutions of think before you act. Sometimes you don't know that you're following a trend, and people try dressing like a culture to find a sense of belonging. is that most people are not going to automatically think about, oh, it's not going to think about how it may impact the native people of the different artifacts and clothing that you're wearing. They're going to automatically think about it because they see one person doing it, think it's cool and it's really attractive. They want to try it on for themselves without realizing the importance of value of it.
Did I do everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Yay! Yes.